Welcome into this Thursday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham and Neal McCready. Wow, that's really, really bright. I'll move in a second. Okay, sorry. If you're on the live stream, you can tell I'm quite shining at the moment. Anyway, good to be back with you today. A couple podcasts to you to close out the week, and then it's better. Yeah, it's better. Okay. Anyway, sorry. It's been a while. We're getting everything kind of set back up. Had to go into YouTube. Had to change a bunch of settings. Had to do some different things this morning. So here we go. Good to be back with you. Not a ton of news has happened. We'll get into that and a little more coming up on the show today. The show that's been brought to you for a long time now, and we appreciate it as we go into 2020. The Oxford Exxon, Craddock Oil Company, Oxford Crystal, all those people over there, mainly Ben. Really appreciate him, and you know that you can use your basketball game tickets as coupons, $150 off a steamer pack or a sack full at the Oxford Crystal. We know about ribs, lunch specials, daiquiris, all that good stuff there with the good people at the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He will send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can do what I've done, and that's get into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service after the sale. Corey wants to be your car guy. He wants to be your truck guy. He'll prove that to you once you make the call, 662-257-1900.
So it's been a little bit, as somebody said in the live stream. For the most part, in the holidays, everybody kind of does the same thing. I mean, we can recap for a while, but I think it's one of those deals where
I worked most of it.
How many days did you completely take off?
One
day?
No, because I got up. I had to do pick stuff on Christmas. None. No days. I really didn't. I intended to take a lot of time off and kind of chill, and I
still got some chill time though.
Yeah, I mean, some, but not kind of the way I wanted to. It's why I'm strongly contemplating killing Twitter. For that reason, I think Twitter.
You stayed on it too much, or what?
Well, I just think you see something like, I better check that out, instead of maybe you'd be better off just being oblivious and doing old school reporting, like. You know, I mean, we've done pretty good on the Kiffin stuff with his staff, in large part because I actually kind of know a lot of people in some NFL circles and some college circles, and I've been able to kind of dig around and get to stuff. And I don't know, you know, I don't know how much of Twitter I needed for that.
It can be a complete time drain. It can freak you out. How much do you think it helps on distributing content at this point?
Not much.
You don't think so?
I mean, maybe a little, but not much. My opinion. I mean, I really don't. Twitter goes so fast. And if you're someone that has a lot of followers, or I mean, if you're someone who follows a lot of people, your Twitter page just flies. So I don't know. Not much. To a degree, but not much. I mean, I've kept it to this point for that reason, but anyway, but I felt like I worked a pretty good bit.
You that's personal stuff. Went through kind of everything with 10 Thoughts. If you haven't read that, really good read. Kind of close out the year as it is most years. Are you a resolution person at all?
No.
Are you a reset person? Is there anything about the new year that kind of makes you go,
No, I used to do a lot of that stuff, but I don't anymore. I don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's realistic to say, hey, I'm going to change because the calendar flipped. I think you can try to identify weaknesses and fix them. And
I think there's a certain motivational element to it. I hate the term resolution because like a couple of things that I was like, okay, I've got to get better at this. I got to do this. I've just stuff that frankly had been weighing in my mind for a while. I was like, okay, I've got to focus in a little bit. And I almost made it's really weird. And I know everybody looks at you, kind of rolls your eyes like, yeah, same thing. I made sure I did it before the new year because I'm like, I don't want it to be a resolution. I just want to do better. Does that make sense? Like, let's start now. Let's just do it now.
Everybody says January 1st they're going to change, and then January 1st is a day of you don't work. Most people don't go work out. I went to the gym yesterday. It was pretty empty. You know what I mean? I mean, people say, hey, I'm going to do all these things on January 1st, and then January 1st is a day that you fail, and so you start out failing. And then you're discouraged right off the bat. I don't know. I just think it's you got to, like, the people who go, okay, January 1st is the day I'm going to start my new exercise regimen. Well, that means on January the 3rd and 4th, you're going to be really sore. I mean, you got to just I don't know. It's about so no. My answer is no. I'm pretty energetic and ready to go, but it has nothing to do with the new year. I mean, it just has to be with, we've grown a lot. I think this year is going to be fascinating. I think today is going to be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of interested to see things. It feels kind of fresh and new around here in the stuff that we cover, and for me, that's kind of fun, for lack of a better word. And when I say fun, I don't mean I'm really interested to watch different reactions to things over the course of the next year, starting today.
Yeah, if you get toward the end of the year, the thankful on our side, definitely to you guys, people on the live stream, people on the podcast, people on the site. We had a fairly, not a bad year by any means, but kind of stagnant like most, and then that turned into the best year we've ever had within about 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it was
for
it was
11
remarkable.
Months. For 11 months, we were stagnant.
Yeah,
I mean,
now, frankly, in our business, stagnant's pretty good because a lot of sites fall and go crazy. We don't fall off that much. It's always stayed pretty consistent, podcast and site wise. It's been pretty much where it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then December was good, really, really, really good. And then from a coverage standpoint, I think the game has changed. And I find that to be kind of invigorating. And that has nothing to do with access or any of that stuff. Just we're going to have to work harder and we're going to have to work differently. And I've already have. It's been fun. For me, like getting back into reporting and stuff has been fun. And not just this mundane, let's go to the Monday press conference, fall asleep. Go to the Tuesday practice, get nothing, fall asleep. Go to the Wednesday practice, get nothing, fall asleep. Cover the same game on Saturday, week after week. And that's what it felt like, frankly, for the last 3 years. And if that's mean, then it is. So be it. That is what it felt like. And I don't think it's going to be that way now. You want to cover a program with some energy, and that, frankly, I mean, it's what I wrote yesterday. I've talked about this. I'm being a little bit of a broken record again. I'm going to stop that too. That's something we're going to move ahead. But covering a program that really right now is acting like an SEC program, putting a staff together that's not about ties and not about this or that. It's just go find some dudes who can recruit, get the best players possible, then we'll try to coach them up. Well, it's a new sheriff in town.
I mean, it is. It's a complete overhaul of everything that has happened to this point.
It's becoming very clear that Ole Miss hired Lane Kiffin and told Lane Kiffin it's going to be your program. And it is absolutely his program. He's hiring his people. And if he succeeds, it will be because he brought in his people and they got it done. And if he fails, it will be because he brought in his people and they didn't get it done. There won't be any of this, if only they would have allowed him to have the full keys. If only nope, that's over. They're giving him the keys.
And where you were right for so long is if you're hiring, and this is nothing about Mac at all, but if you're hiring Mac, you would have just hired Mac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The longer that went, the longer it was, hey, no, come on, they're waiting on something. Now we know what they were waiting on, and here you are.
Yeah, I kept seeing people say, they're gonna do that with McIntyre, and I would say, well, if you're going to do it with McIntyre and you're going to do it, why not go on and do it? Why put yourself in a recruiting cycle where you're in no man's land with the guy that's going to be your coach? It made no sense at all. There were other outlets that kept saying that he's a legitimate candidate. And I mean, Kiffin said on signing day that he was a candidate, but it felt like a throwaway line at the time. And it just didn't make much sense. And so I think it's obvious now. We didn't quote report, end quote, that he's not a candidate, but he's not a candidate. I'll tell you this, there are people who are surprised in the coaching fraternity that I talked to yesterday.
Yeah.
That are surprised that he didn't get it, surprised that Kiffin didn't stick with him. And I think Kiffin liked McIntyre a lot as a person, but I don't think McIntyre is the personality that Kiffin wants on that side of the ball. It's not a knock on Mike or a knock on Lane or anybody. Just I think there's a prototype that he's looking for, and he didn't he didn't get it with Mike. Mike's older, probably a little more laid back, a little folksy. Let's face it, Mike McIntyre's had a pretty successful career. He's been a head coach at, 2 places? Made a lot of money. I'm thinking Kiffin wants to surround himself with guys who have a lot to prove. Here's what Kiffin wants to do. And no one's put it in these exact words, but it's pretty obvious that this is what this is. Kiffin really wants to bring the Nick Saban model to Oxford. And I know people go, can you scoff at it? He wants to bring the model to Oxford where he starts to develop a coaching tree to where they recruit at a remarkably high level. And I have to say this. I've been saying it for years, so I've got to be consistent with it. I couldn't agree more. This whole, Ole Miss, you got to recruit a little different way, and you got to have a gimmick, and you got to be a little different because that's crap. Gimmicks don't win. What wins? Players. Players win.
Ole Miss didn't win in 13 to 15 because they had gimmicks. They won between 13 and 15 because they had Laramie Tunzel and Robert Kimdichie and Laquan Treadwell and guys like that.
Yeah, Mike Hilton, and they had players. Chad Kelly, they had players. Jordan Wilkins, they're players. They're guys that play in the league. If
this isn't rocket science. You recruit as many good players as you can, and then you develop the hell out of the rest of them.
Well, the proof of it is if you hang out in a room with 100 football players, you're never going to walk out of there going, God dang, man, that was like Mensa. If you hang out in a room with 15 football coaches, you're never going to walk out of there going, those are the smartest cats I have ever been around in my life. Any more than you're going to do that if you hang out with a bunch of sports writers. But if you hang out with a bunch of football people, you're going to walk away going, there's a reason for the stereotype. The people that try to make the game so complicated, oh boy, you really have to trick people. You're not beating Alabama by tricking them. You don't beat LSU by tricking them. You don't beat Clemson by tricking them. You beat those teams by getting athletes who can win one-on-ones.
It's going to be a topic. If nothing falls through, you've been alluding for a while who you think the coordinators are going to be, who these next 2 assistants are going to be.
Yeah.
Chris Partridge been at Michigan.
Chris Partridge and DJ Durkin are going to be the co-defensive coordinators at Ole Miss.
Go ahead and get it out of the way now. Where are you falling on this Durkin thing, giving his history? Kind of lay it out, and we'll talk through it.
Well, Jamie says the Rose Bowl was a good game. Rose Bowl is always a good game, and it was a really good game yesterday. One of the best games, one of the best bowl games of the whole season. Coming from somebody who did not watch a lot of bowl games, but that was a really good one. I have watched
3. That's it. The 2 playoffs and the Rose Bowl. That is what I've watched. I've watched 3 bowl games.
I've watched more than that, but I haven't watched many bowl games from start to finish. I watched the Rose Bowl from start to finish. It was really good. And I didn't watch the Sugar Bowl at all. I thought it was boring. And I was busy. I was working. Durkin, look, there's going to be criticism. It's coming. There's going to be backlash, I think. It's probably inevitable.
News cycles are short. It'll go away.
It's my thought.
Like most things, it will go away.
Here's what has to be noted when you talk about Durkin.
Okay.
It's 3 things. 1, when Jordan McNair died, and it was absolutely a tragedy, ESPN did what ESPN has a tendency to do, and that's form an agenda. And they went after DJ Durkin. And they came up with the culture, the toxic culture thing. That was the quote that ultimately got him.
Yeah, because he was cleared from a administrative
that's
standpoint,
where I'm going.
and then all the stuff.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. So the he was cleared of any culpability in McNair's death, And then the Board of Regents, who frankly were motivated financially to fire him with cause because they wouldn't have to pay him in that way. It's not what they found. They found that it wasn't a toxic culture. They found that Rick Court, the strength and conditioning coach, was probably guilty of some bullying. They found that Damon Evans, the AD at the time, the former Georgia AD, probably did not do the best job in the world of helping what was then a very young. I mean, listen, DJ Durkin is 42 years old later this month.
Yep, January 15th. I've got his bio up in front of me.
DJ Durkin, so when he was fired at Georgia, he was basically 40. When he was hired, he was 38 years old. They didn't do a very good job of surrounding him with the type of atmosphere that a first-time head coach probably needs. And that was all in that report. Mm-hmm. But nowhere in that report was DJ Durkin hammered for a toxic culture. Nowhere. In fact, they were recruiting at a really high level, which tells me that in today's social media age, I don't think you could have a toxic culture and recruit at a really high level. Kids talk too much. And kids will be honest with each other on the recruiting trail. That's happened. I know for a fact at the end of the Houston Nut time, there were players on the Ole Miss campus inside the program telling recruits, man, don't come here.
Yeah.
So he got cleared. At some point, people deserve a second chance. I mean, he's paid his dues. He's missed 2 seasons from the college game. He didn't coach in 2018 when all that stuff was going on. He was reinstated, and a day later they reversed course and fired him without cause, paid him his money, and he spent this season with the Falcons and Dan Quinn, who he worked with at Florida.
So you're getting a guy with this resume. GA's Bowling Green, Notre Dame, 01-04. Bowling Green, position coach. Bowling Green, position coach. Became special teams coordinator. Stanford, special teams coordinator, defensive ends. Florida, linebacker, special teams. Florida, defensive coordinator from 13-14. He was the interim head coach when they had a change. Michigan, defensive coordinator, linebackers, and then Maryland. You're getting a really experienced, decorated defensive coordinator at this point.
Yeah, you're getting a really he was a former Rivals.com recruiter of the year.
Correct.
You're getting him energized. We talk about Lane Kiffin. I mean, one of the things to me that makes Lane Kiffin so attractive at Ole Miss is the fact that if Lane Kiffin screws this up, he's done. Right?
Of course. It's his last opportunity at this level, period.
And so if you're Durkin, this is a huge opportunity to get back at the Power 5 level, SEC level, to get back to coach, to prove that you deserve another opportunity as a head coach, which is what he wants, according to people who know him well. He wants to get back and have another opportunity as a Power 5 head coach, and this is that opportunity to reestablish himself, again, at a very young age. If DJ Durkin stays 3 years at Ole Miss and lands the head coaching job at, I don't know, fill in the gap, Iowa State or whatever, he's 45 years old.
We're going to do Chris Partridge in a second as well. That's an interesting one to me because a lot of times you can figure out kind of what a guy's reputation is at another school just by judging. I mean, it's one thing Twitter is a little good for. Twitter's bad for so many things, but you go to message boards and Twitter and different places and you go, hey, let's just kind of see what's up here. Michigan fans not wanting him gone, really like him, has done a good job. He's been a hell of a recruiter since he came in from Rashawn Gary.
He's an elite recruiter.
Yeah, you're getting a lot there from that standpoint. So,
and he needs to be a coordinator. He wants to be a head coach.
Yes, this is giving him a title. It's giving him
a different role in the room.
Yeah.
He's going to learn a lot from Durkin. He's going to learn a lot from Kiffin. He didn't need to stay at Michigan his entire tenure. You need to show some things. Now he's been in the Big Ten, so he'll be in the SEC. Gives him – you can get shoehorned unfairly in any profession. You can do this, for example. Neal, you've never left the Southeast as a reporter. You could never cover anything other than the SEC. Bullshit. You could put me on the Indiana beat today, and I'd be kicking ass within 6 months. I mean, that's crap. But if you're not careful, you will get shoehorned into that. And so that's kind of where he is.
It's an easy move for Partridge. I mean, completely easy.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean, yeah, I'm joining a pretty good staff, getting into the SEC, getting a DC title to some extent. I mean, that's a complete no-brainer. So we'll talk about him in 1 second. But did I tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga? All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting. Understands your market, a leader in condo financing, the float-down option. And with rates as low as they've been in about 2 years, good time to talk to Jason. That's 662-234-2704, JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
Guests, join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. This Sunday, Rafters Bluegrass Sunday Brunch will become Playoff Sunday Brunch. The band is taking the day off to make room for Vikings at Saints on the big screen. Come experience what has been voted the best brunch in Oxford and cheer for the Saints or the Vikings or whoever makes you happy. Brunch features $3 mimosas and their famous $5 Bloody Mary. Brunch starts at $10:45. This Sunday only. Ask your bartender or server for the Rebel Grove discount and get 1/2 price domestic and import beers. So again, ask your bartender or server for the Rebel Grove discount. Get 1/2 price domestic and import beers. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward and chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen and Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. So call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth. Let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing available at corinthdental.com. We're also brought to you by Splinter Creek. It's a gated conservation community. It's located 8 miles southwest of Oxford, 75 minutes from the Memphis airport. SplinterCreekMS.com, 601-898-2772. Call that number. Schedule a tour with Tom Smith Land and Home Agents today. You really should check out Splinter Creek if you're thinking about moving to Oxford, retiring to Oxford. 34 lakefront lots from 2 to 25 acres, 650 acres of lakes, pine, and hardwood forest, private roads, running, cycling, hiking trails. It's just an absolutely gorgeous piece of land. You should check it out. You will love it. It's Splinter Creek, SplinterCreekMS.com. Our picks are we're really close.
Are we still really close?
We're still really close. We all did pretty poorly in the bowls.
Okay.
I think I have a 1-game lead going into week 3 of bowls. There's too many.
How many bowls are left?
1, 2, 3, 4 bowls in the playoffs.
But we're doing football playoffs for a little while at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do all the way to the Super Bowl.
Oh, will we?
Yep.
Okay.
Southern Craft Stove and Tap sponsors those, and they also have your pregame and pre-concert needs covered. Whether you are headed to Oxford for the Rebels SEC basketball slate or to Tupelo for one of the many events like Miranda Lambert on January the 16th, make sure you get your event started off right with a visit to Southern Craft. Conveniently located off Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue in Oxford and at 205 East Troy Street in Tupelo, Southern Craft has all your Southern favorites ready to serve your hunger needs. Or drop in and enjoy a curated cocktail or one of their many craft beers on tap. Don't forget to ask about their banquet room for private dining or to have all your favorites catered for any occasion from office to private event. Now available in both locations, Southern Craft Stove and Tap.
So, again, been at Michigan. Really elevated career fast. Was in high school not too long ago. I mean, that's just the way the thing works. You can elevate pretty quick with a pretty good player around you in high school, can't you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to his credit, I mean he built off that. I don't blame Michigan for
safeties coach, special teams coordinator right now, I believe.
Yeah, I don't blame Michigan at all for
no
doing what you got to do to get Rashawn Gary.
Well, and it's a guy who does have ability. It's not like you're just hiring Joe Blow off
Right.
the street. I mean, you're hiring a guy that's going to be pretty sharp, and you got to evaluate it like you do players almost, or exactly. But at the end of the day, I mean, the guy has proven more than competent here. It's not like you just grabbed a guy.
Of course. And
It's not like the end of the bench basketball assistant you grab because the player sometime. You know what I mean? This is a whole different animal.
And he's not a guy that stopped recruiting at Rashad Gary. He kept going. It makes a ton of sense. He's a great hire. I mean, he's a fantastic hire. The combination makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it
and
does.
again, another person with something to prove. Another young guy with something to prove. There's a trend here if you look at it. He's hiring young people with something to prove. They're going to have an edge to them. It's the way to do it.
Two spots
the whole
left.
good old boy thing doesn't work at places like Ole Miss. They've tried it for decades. It doesn't work. Lane Kiffin said this, and I know for a fact it ruffled a few feathers in the old man community. But Ole Miss has never had sustained success. Had a spike here and a spike there. Then it falls off. Spike, fall off. If you're going to sustain it, you got to have a plan. Kiffin's got a plan. We'll see if it works or not. He's got one offensive spot left.
Mm-hmm. Wide receivers.
And then 2 defensive spots left, I think. 2, maybe 3.
Is that many?
Yeah, he's only hired 2 defensive coaches. 3 defensive coaches. But he's more of a special teams guy, the guy from Texas.
Gideon,
yeah.
Yeah. I thought we knew 8 names at this point. Do we not know 8?
I don't know.
Because you get 10.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Got 1 more offensive coach and 2 more defensive coaches. I reported last night he appears to be, according to sources, leaning towards keeping Freddie Roach. It's my understanding.
And we've heard that pretty much throughout that was a possibility.
It's my understanding that decision has not been made, and it might depend on who the other coaches want to bring in, who Kiffin can get. I'm told that he is swinging still for a couple of pretty big names. I don't know those names. I've reported the names that I've heard. Frank Wilson. Frankly, I don't think he's going to get Frank Wilson done. I think Frank Wilson's going to end up at LSU. T. Martin's name has come up. It's a possibility. I don't know. There are some circumstances there that have absolutely nothing to do with football.
With Frank?
No, with T.
Oh, T, sorry.
Nothing to do with the football. It's more of a personal, not even personal, but just a family thing that T's considering looking into and talking about.
We've heard nothing on Siski. We're getting asked that on the live chat.
As of now, he's still part of the staff. I don't think a permanent decision has been made one way or the other there. And no, I don't know about grad transfers or transfers right now. I just don't. I mean,
there's a time for that. It is not currently.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, the time for it's now, but we're going to have to dig in and try to get in touch with that kid. That kind of information is not going to come out of the staff, and so when it gets started, we're going to have to figure out something else. I'm sure that Ole Miss and a lot of people are going to be in on him. I think Kiffin said this. I mean, at some point you have to say, hey, this is not a guy who does a lot of coach speak. Go back and read the transcript. There was very few throwaways in the transcript. When he said, hey, we're going to evaluate every possible way of procuring players, that's what he means. So
went out of his way to talk about how it's more like the NFL now because there's so many different ways to get kids in your program.
And so yeah, they'll be involved. Darnell Washington, I'm pretty sure he's going to go to Georgia.
The kid from Oklahoma decommit because Riley's going to the NFL?
I don't know. Possibly. May have just decided, don't want to take this chance. I think Lincoln Riley is going to the NFL at some point, probably fairly soon, maybe right now.
Heard any more buzz on Matt Rule?
I think if he wants to be the head coach of the New York Giants, he will be. He might not want to be. Matt Rule's deal is very simple. When he got the job at Baylor, he took the job on one condition. It's my program. You give me the keys, stay the hell out. I'll run the program. I'll be culpable if something happens. You're not going to get in my way, and if you get in my way, I'm going to leave. Which very interestingly is what someone told me about Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, which is one of the reasons that I found this DJ Durkin thing to be fascinating over the last couple of days. Because the exact quote that was given to me about Lane Kiffin was, when a place like Ole Miss hires Lane Kiffin, if they start trying to control him, he'll go to UCF. He'll leave. So Matt Rule's already turned down the New York Jets because they wouldn't give him control. He's turned down an interview with the Cleveland Browns because he doesn't like the culture there. The Giants are known for a lot of nepotism and a lot of people that have just hung on forever because they've been there forever. I think he's got to have a lot of that thrown out. But, it's the New York Football Giants. It's a storied franchise, and they have a lot of money, and if they paid him a whole lot of money. I like Matt Rule. I know what people say about Matt Rule. I've read a lot about Matt Rule, and this week I've talked to a lot of NFL people because I've been working on this Durkin thing, and Matt Rule's pretty freaking sharp.
You're really good at being sort of that baseline for a lot of different things. Just kind of your average guy that can read situations. I'm kind of that in a way with NFL because I'm not fanatical, but I'm pretty well versed because of the Saints as far as liking one team from the standpoint. He's a hell of a program builder at college. I would be concerned if he were my NFL football coach. It would worry me.
Sure.
When I first heard it, I went, I don't know. I mean, it's a different element. Maybe he's got the whatever for that element, and that's even maybe his better element. I have no idea. But it would panic me a little bit as an NFL fan.
It's just such a weird league. It's such a strange league when you look at who succeeds and who fails. You got to have a quarterback. That's number one. So one of the first questions he has to ask himself when he looks at the deal at New York
is, do we believe in Daniel Jones?
Do I believe in Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Because I'm stuck with him. The way that league works.
He's my dude, yeah.
He's my dude for at least 2-3 years, and that's as long as I'm going to get if we fail miserably.
Do we have a Trubisky situation here where nothing else matters?
So he's got to figure that out, and then he's got to look at where are their draft assets, what could they do, how much money do they have, what's their budget to procure players. And I think the Giants are in pretty good shape in all of those things. So it really might come down to what he thinks about Daniel Jones. And then it comes down to what type of control does he have in the decision-making process. Would he be able to walk into Dave Gettleman's office and say, this is the guy that I want, and then get that guy?
If you're Ole Miss, you'd love Matt Rule to go to the New York Football Giants today.
Of course, yeah. Although, man, I watched –
they feel weird to me. I watched a little bit of that too.
Well,
Not
here's
much,
my big sweeping bowl statement.
All right.
The Big 12 sucks.
Now, did you see Texas? I mean,
yeah, they did. Then they whipped Utah.
They did.
They did. But Texas kind of does this all the time.
It's actually kind of fun now because we'll do it all off season and they'll suck again when September.
I mean, they whipped Georgia last year
and that didn't do much.
The
for
Sugar
them.
Bowl, and it just didn't carry over. I mean, I'll give them credit.
I mean,
they played really well, but they beat.
I mean, Georgia's second team beat them up last night.
Yeah, I watched Kansas State and Navy. Actually, I watched a lot of that game. Well, I was outside. I was grilling, and the game was on, and I ended up watching it. Kansas State got whipped at the line of scrimmage by Navy. Just whipped all day. It wasn't a good look. Oklahoma got destroyed by LSU. I mean, you watched Oklahoma, and I watched all these people with the hot takes of they'd finish fifth in the SEC West, and I thought, well, would they? Oklahoma would lose to Alabama on a neutral field. Oklahoma would lose to LSU on a neutral field. We've seen it.
Yeah.
What would Oklahoma do with Auburn on a neutral field? I think it would be a really good game.
Now, Auburn looked terrible yesterday. But
they did, but I'm going to say this is the thing about the Big Ten. The Big Ten has a handful of teams that are really solid. that can get you on any day. Minnesota, Penn State, Iowa, probably those three. Michigan State sometimes, Michigan sometimes. They're all solid teams. Michigan was okay with Alabama for a while. Michigan's problem was their quarterback play wasn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
Not to pick on Patterson, but their quarterback play wasn't very good. Alabama's quarterback play yesterday was pretty good. Now, if I'm Mac Jones, and we're jumping around right now, if I'm Mac Jones and Tua's coming back, I got to transfer somewhere.
Got to get out.
I got to go play. Because I watched Mac Jones yesterday.
I've shown I can play. Let's go play.
I watched Mac Jones yesterday and thought he could play in the league.
Yeah, he was good. He was fine yesterday.
But, yeah, I think whether Matt Rule stays or not, I think Ole Miss could beat Baylor.
They lose a ton on defense. They've got a lot back on offense. I think they lose 8 defensive starters, if I have that right.
Yeah,
something
lose
like
8
that.
Defensive starters, return most of their offense. If they lose Rule, they'll take a step back in the college coaching standpoint because I just don't know who they go hire.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time pulling that off again.
The 2 games that I think for Ole Miss next season that everyone will chalk up as an L that I'm not willing to just yet are Baylor and Auburn. Watched Auburn yesterday. They lose a lot of that defense. And that offense, I'm not willing to say that Nix won't be a great quarterback, but I'm not willing to say that he will be a great quarterback.
He flashed, but he has some moments, too, where you go, ooh, don't know. He's a gamer, but I don't know how that translates to just being an above-average, really good quarterback. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a gamer now.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He comes from a great family, and he plays really hard. I'm not questioning any of that. I don't know that the skill set is there for him to be a great quarterback. I'm not willing to say that it's not either. But what was interesting yesterday was Minnesota ran all over them.
He reminds me a little of Bo
Wallace.
Yeah,
he's better than Wallace.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Well, I mean, Bo without the arm injury, maybe we only saw a game.
Yeah, maybe
so.
That,
but
yeah.
But I mean, just he can run a little bit, and he's going to move you and manage you, and it's going to be fine. But then you're also going to have some moments where you go, whoa.
Yeah, and I just they were unable to move the football on the ground yesterday. But that's the other game for Ole Miss. Those are those 2 games where they could get off to a really good start, and if they do, they'll be a really fun story. I don't think Ole Miss beats LSU next year, and I don't think they beat Alabama. And listen, if Alabama returns all those dudes, they are the prohibitive favorite to win the national title.
Oh, good grief! Yeah, I mean,
because they're really, really good.
Now I will tell you, and now returning those dudes is a big part of this. Got to get better on defense. Defense.
Yeah, returning Dylan Moses and possibly Mark, what's his name, McMillan.
I mean, this is not. This has nothing to do with Pete Golding. They got to get better on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
But give a little credit to Minnesota yesterday. It's a good program. You're talking about now, the football gods come down and say, hey, you can have anybody to lead your college football program.
Mm-hmm.
Not named Nick Saban. Who do you want? I got to tell you, in a vacuum, not knowing, okay, well, what's my player procurement budget? What league am I in? If I can't find out any of those things, one of the names on my short list is P.J. Fleck. It works.
And he's doing it, like you said, without signing a bunch of top 10 classes. More than competitive without doing that. So, yeah, I get that. Because
what did you just go, 11-2 at Minnesota?
Yeah, I think that's right. Because there's a deal where, yeah, there's some other names I would want, but I need to know infrastructure for those names. That's kind of what you're talking about here is, hey, yeah there's some guys that, I go, yeah, absolutely, I want him. Well, tell me what my situation is with my network a little bit there. All jokes aside.
Yeah, no, I got to know if you come.
Because now if we're free reign, I got some other dudes.
Well, yeah.
I'll go down the list.
Well,
a little
bit. Kirby.
Yeah, sure.
Ed Orgeron.
If Urban would like to jump back in my boat.
But if you come down and you say, okay, here's what I'm willing to tell you. I'm going to give you a Power 5 program, but I'm not telling you which league. I'm not telling you what school. Just got to have a coach to run it. Who do you want? He's on my short list.
I don't hate that.
On a very short list.
What's his next gig? Where's he going?
Wherever he wants to go.
Is he staying in Minnesota for the next 3 years?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know that you can sustain that at Minnesota. I don't know why you can't.
But you're not leaving right now.
No. Why would you leave right now?
Well, because you can't sustain it. That would be why you leave
Yeah,
right
but
now.
you don't leave right now. You wait for the big time job to open up. He's got security at Minnesota. They're paying him a ton of money. Good. If he takes a step back next year, no one's going to say fire PJ Fleck.
And he's never going to go 3-9. So yeah, I mean, you can hold on there as long as you want to hold on there.
He's won everywhere he goes. He won it. Was it Western Michigan where
you
he
said
won?
you watched Navy
Yeah.
yesterday. Got Kansas State. Would it be on your list?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Hell, the guy at Navy might be on my list before the guy at Kansas State.
Yeah. I mean, I can't run that offense at a major program.
No. But
I can't recruit to that.
I tell you what, you watch those teams play. His team plays so smart. I know I'm being stereotypical here. Hard, smart, physical. They're fun to watch. Like, literally, I watched Navy and thought, next time they're close to me, I'm going to go watch them play. Very disciplined, very physical, and smart. They don't do the dumb stuff.
Yeah, I'll about that. I'm going to continue this conversation in 1 second. Before we do that, I'll tell you about Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy. G&M right there on South Lamar in Oxford. Take advantage of the free delivery to your home or workplace. The MedSync allows them to fill your medicine once a month, every single time, at the same time to make it easy on you. And by now, you definitely should have gotten that flu shot. But if you did not, $0 copay on most insurance plans. They will take care of you as quickly and painlessly as possible. That's 662-236-2222.
Our friends at Blue Delta Jeans want to give a big thank you to all listeners of the Oxford Exxon Podcast for their incredible support in 2019. They're thrilled to move into 2020 with the Rebel Grove community. SEC basketball play is about to kick off in Oxford, and as you make your way into Oxford to cheer on Kermit and the Ole Miss basketball team, don't forget to stop by the Blue Delta Jeans studio to check out Blue Delta's awesome jeans, cotton pants, chinos, and even stretch corduroy fabrics for the winter. The Oxford studio is open from 10 to 6 every day except Sunday, but if you need an after-hours fitting, don't hesitate to reach out to Blue Delta Jeans on social media or at info@bluedeltajeans.com to get your custom fitting scheduled today. We're also brought to you by Nest and Wild. Sleep better with the Nest and Wild mattress. Nest and Wild is a Mississippi-based mattress company making a high-quality mattress delivered right to your door. They make buying a new mattress easy. Every Nest and Wild mattress is 1 foot thick, giving you comfort and support that will last. A lot of online brands sell an 8-inch or 10-inch mattress with less support and durability. From the twin size to the California King, every Nest and Wild mattress is 1 foot thick, 100% American made. The pricing is competitive when compared to the rest of the mattress companies in their tier. And when you add in the discount of the podcast discount, it's an even better value. And also, you can fight cancer in your sleep. Nest and Wild have partnered with former Major League pitcher Jason Mott's foundation in the fight against cancer. They donate a portion of every mattress sold back to Jason's charity. It's a no-risk decision. Nest and Wild believes in its product so much that they're offering a 99-night trial on every mattress. So try it out. Sleep on it for 99 nights, and if you don't like it, you can return it. Go to nestandwild.com, order your mattress, use the podcast code REBEL20, and get 20% off your purchase. Your mattress will arrive at your door in 3 to 5 days. Podcast also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states as well. Founded in 1997, Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and so much more. They treat investing like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. That's pintrust.com, PINNtrust.com. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fee. Took a break from the mailbag for the past couple of weeks. That will be back next week, and it is brought to you by the Westin Jackson. which is home to Soul Spa, the ultimate luxury spa experience in downtown Jackson, and also Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro, where you can sip on a creative craft cocktail, enjoy their curated wine list. It's open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Chef Caden's mission is to connect guests with the community through local partnerships, so gather at Estelle tonight. And a lot of you have used John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Jay Tate's using John for his big European vacation coming up in the summer, and you should get in touch with John too if you are planning a trip that you want to provide a lifetime of unique memories. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits that are simply not available to other travelers. He's traveled the globe for 4 decades, basically. He knows the extra attention that's needed to make a special trip one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. 901-494-3387, or send him an email at jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast.
So, obviously, got some dates on the site yesterday as far as important to Ole Miss this year. I was really, really good about that. I missed signing day the first time I did it, so that was good. Really in mid-season form here as January. It is the number one day in 2020 that it matters is December whatever 2020.
Yep.
It is December 16th, I believe, and
this is a leap year.
It is a leap year, yes. That is correct. I think it's December 16th.
Whatever that Wednesday is in December is
that is the most important day.
Yep, no doubt.
Where would you put the February one on the list of the 10 most important days?
Not that big.
Would you not?
Nope.
They get something great, but you're just trying to manage it?
Yeah.
Is that the goal?
It's a transition class. It is. I'm not judging a transition class. Holler at me in December and we'll come down with some sort of a judgment.
I'm not going to do a ton of basketball today. I included the week next, actually starting in a couple days. They play Wichita January 4th at Wichita. Then they play Texas A&M to open SEC playing College Station. A&M is a bad basketball team. They are 6-5 right now. They are 190 in the net as of right now. Ole Miss actually has a pretty good net. They don't have any bad losses, and because the margin of victory caps at 10, that Oklahoma State loss only hurts you a certain amount. That's why KenPom is so screwed up, because KenPom doesn't have that cap on it. So Ole Miss's analytics are all over the damn place because of the Oklahoma State game, whereas the net kind of caps that thing and keeps it manageable. It feels though they can't go 0-2 on this road swing at all.
Well, no,
I feel like that's a death knell in early January.
Yeah, no, they have to beat Texas A&M. They don't have to beat Wichita. A loss at Wichita is not going to hurt them. A win there would really help them, but a loss isn't going to hurt them. Wichita, the last I looked it's been Sunday since I looked. They were 11th in the net. So they're probably around that area. So it's a quadrant 1 victory opportunity on the road, which is just massive. But if you lose it, no one's going to hold it against you. It's not going to be a damning line on their resume. A loss to A&M could end up being a damning line on the resume. Here's the thing, though. If you look around college basketball, everybody has crappy resumes outside about the top 10, 15 teams.
It's going to be – we say this every year, but especially right now, given what we're talking about in the SEC, frankly, they had a pretty good week last week, but for the most part not playing well.
Had a good week, and then South Carolina turned around and lost to Monmouth or
just
somebody.
Killed all the goodwill from the Virginia win.
Yeah. But it tells you where college basketball is today.
I guess that's what I mean. Is that bubble as much as any time warts everywhere? Just warts everywhere on this thing.
Well, right now the bubble's huge, and it's really soft, and you can bounce off of it.
Is 10 and 8 enough?
As of today,
given the bubble, is 10 and 8 enough?
No.
You think 11 and 7 is required? It's not 12 and 6.
Probably. No, you got to win 11. I don't think 10 would get it done right now. I don't think the league's strong enough for that. But that's one of the reasons you got to go to A&M and win. Got to go win there. And then after that, you got to beat Arkansas at home, and Arkansas's net's probably pretty good. They won in Indiana the other day. I think they're 12-1, maybe something like that.
They did, yeah, they were.
I mean, I have a Arkansas student in my house, and I said to her, "Did you hear about? Hey, you guys won." She goes, "What?" I said, "You won in Indiana." She goes, "Oh, that's good." And I said, "Who's your basketball coach?" And she goes, "I don't know." I said, "You really don't know the name of your basketball coach?" No.
He spoke to her. in the group.
Yeah, but I'm pretty safe to say she wasn't dialed in.
You said he was the one that knew the room and got out, though, right?
He was the one that got up on the stage and realized within 20 seconds, hey,
not my crowd.
They're not here for me. Maybe another day. And he got out of there. In fairness, when you go back and look at that day, at bid day at University of Arkansas, a little tip-off that Chad Morris was not exactly dialed in, and Eric Musselman was.
I remember that.
Because Morris kept talking and kept talking and kept talking, and Musselman went up there and said, hey, what's up? See you later. Y'all have a good day. Hope to see you at Bud Walton. Bye.
Yeah.
They were not there for him.
Go Hogs. Peace.
Yeah. Chad kept talking.
You believe in Musselman a little bit.
Oh, I know he's a good coach. Yeah. I mean, Musselman's a good coach. His name popped up on the Ole Miss deal when they were replacing Andy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said he'd be a good hire. And Kermit's a great hire. Musselman would have been a great hire, too. He's won everywhere he's ever been. He's terrific at taking a group. The question with Musselman will be, can he build something there? He is proven to be terrific at taking a group and maximizing that group.
Mm-hmm.
That's his thing.
Did you chuckle when you put Neal's picks in that there's no way in any hell that I'm picking the Saints to win that game this weekend?
It was funny.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
I saw your list of games and I looked at it and went, gosh.
Well, it's a playoff game now. It's not even a psychological warfare.
It's the Vikings.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter, though. I got scar tissue against everybody. It doesn't matter who's on the other side. I'll find some reason to have scar tissue here. I mean, Seahawks, plenty. 49ers, 2011, still haunting me in my dreams. There's landmines everywhere in this bad boy.
Oh, the NFC playoffs are going to be great. Look at the two games this weekend.
Look,
normally these are the throwaway games, and I think New Orleans is going to whip Minnesota. But like that Seattle-Philadelphia game could go a lot of different directions.
Saints fans, and I'm including myself in this, I kind of laughed at us as a collective over the weekend because for a franchise that has never won much, been pretty good over the last decade, has a Super Bowl. We have more demons and more of this like internal disbelief, if you will, than any. I mean, becoming the Atlanta Braves of the NFL in a way.
You're the Cubs of the NFL. The Cubs have won a World Series and it's still doom and gloom all the time.
I guess that's a decent. Yeah, I mean, I guess
the Cubs won a World Series 3 years ago, and it's doom and gloom in the fan base. Oh, it's over.
But it's the officials thing, which does appear to be continuing to happen. But it is the officials thing. I mean, Seattle, that pass interference, it's at the one. Now, don't get the delay in game, but there have been 67 teams since 1990 win 13 games or more in a regular season. 64 of those have gotten byes. The Saints are 2 of the other 3.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a stat.
It's a hell of a stat. But they are the best team in the NFC, and they should win. They should beat Minnesota.
I'm not sure the 49ers aren't.
Oh,
I wasn't a believer for most of the season.
Who's the 2 seed? Green Bay?
Green Bay. That doesn't scare me. I don't mind going to Lambeau next week.
No, because you should win.
Yeah, that does not bother me. That's fine. Minnesota actually scares me more than Green Bay does.
The game that I've got circled as the big upset this weekend
What you got?
is I think the Titans are going to New England, and I won't be surprised if they win. The networks sort of force me to watch the Titans, and if you watch the Titans the last few weeks, they've got this wide receiver named Brown.
Yeah.
And they've got this running back that used to play at Alabama.
Yeah.
And they're really good up front. And now they have a quarterback who doesn't beat them. And their defense is pretty good against weak-armed quarterbacks. And there's a guy in New England that was once great, and Father Time has started to flex his muscles. And I just kind of think this might be the end.
I owe Titans fans, I know Zach's following on the live stream, an apology, actually, because for so long I've called them the most nondescript football team in the NFL. Just everything's just blah and average and just kind of whatever. They didn't suck, but they did nothing for me. Like you said, they're in our network constantly. We're always having to watch them. They've been
ain't
fun
nothing blah
lately.
about Derrick Henry.
They've been fun lately. I mean, obviously I watched them against the Saints, but I've watched them other times too. They're pretty fun. I kind of like them right now.
There's nothing.
The uniforms are sharp.
There's nothing blah about Derrick Henry, and there's nothing blah about the Brown kid out on the outside. Nothing blah about those two. In the NFL, that's about what you need. You got to have weapons. And you got a quarterback that doesn't beat you, and he doesn't.
Yeah, AJ, I saw his list of accomplishments and the effort to try to win the Rookie of the Year. It is quite long and distinguished at this point.
You're welcome, Zach. Love you, buddy. I do. I mean, I like the Titans in that game.
You do?
I do. Watch New England down the stretch. They haven't been very good. Been a struggle. I know it's January and all that stuff. I get it.
I'm still kind of waiting on my freak out to click. I feel pretty good right now. It hasn't come over me yet. So I don't know. It'll hit at some point.
The Saints are awfully good.
They are.
I mean, I watched them against Carolina the other day.
I'm going down this weekend. I'll get a lot of energy at some point on Saturday and start freaking out. But
you going to the game?
Yeah, I think I'm going to New Orleans. If I go to New Orleans, I might as well go to the stupid game, right?
Yeah, of course. It's just football.
Thanks. Appreciate that. It only takes 360 days to overcome it every time these things happen every year.
It'd be all right. They're not losing to the Vikings.
Let's go back to your mindset. Anytime there's an NLCS going on, an NLDS during these last few years, let's go there and put it in your head and go, hey, It's just baseball. It's no big deal. There'll be another one at some point, said the Cubs in 1908. It took a minute, okay?
It took a minute. But I don't know. I just think New Orleans is going to win. I think we're going to get the New Orleans. Frankly, I think we're going to get the New Orleans-Seattle NFC title game that we deserve.
That's back in New Orleans, at least.
Yeah. I think we're going to get the New Orleans.
You think 49ers and Green Bay lose next week?
Yes.
You think Seattle beats San Francisco and New Orleans beats Green Bay?
Yes. That's what I think. That Seattle-San Francisco game could be an absolute Donnybrook. But yes.
They don't hate each other as much as I'd kind of like them to hate each other. But yeah. But it's not like Rams-Seahawks hate.
Yeah, Seattle could have won that game in San Francisco. Probably should have won that game.
Well, should have. I mean, it was in Seattle. But
yeah, the one in Seattle. So I don't know.
I know. I watched every snap. I'd feel much better were the Saints not playing this weekend. They've got a lot of injuries. It's another game you got to win. I thought the entire
season. They're beat up on the defensive backfield.
I thought the entire season the bye was imperative for the Saints to make a Super Bowl run. I thought that throughout, and I still pretty much believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. Give me Drew Brees.
You think I'm in my head, but
I know you're in your head. They're pretty healthy on offense. Cook's healthy. No one can guard Thomas. Kamara looks great.
Yeah, they've done a nice job keeping Kamara fairly healthy. He took some time off. They've done a pretty good job with that.
They're pretty good up front. They're scoring 35, 37 points a game the last 5-6 weeks of the season. They scored at will against the Panthers. And I realized the Panthers were checked out, but
yeah, if I were not in a situation where I'm just freaked out about everybody, I think if I had to pick a game that potentially is a blowout, it is the Saints-Vikings this week.
Of course. That's the reason the line's so big.
Is it 7, 8? It's 8 now?
8 points.
Okay, yeah.
NFL playoff line at 8 points?
Yeah.
It's a huge line.
Yeah. Wish I could play it on Monday night. Cousins doesn't win those games. Take our final break. Take about Mastercuts Lawn and Landscape, 662-607-7773. Go mastercuts.com. It'll be heated back up before you know it. Let them take care of your basic yard maintenance, everything from mowing, weeding, edging, all that good stuff. Or they'll build custom playgrounds, whatever you need. They will take care of you for your dream backyard. So again, that number, 662-607-7773 for a free quote.
We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Go in, test drive one today. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. We're also brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with a personal touch. They also give their customers Kasasa. It's the absolute best cash checking account. And with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000 and refund ATM fees nationwide. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. We're also brought to you by Bluff City Advisory Group. It's dedicated to building the future you desire. Founded in Memphis in 2019, their team is comprised of established and seasoned financial experts who came together to serve individuals and families of their beloved hometown. The firm's built on decades of wealth management experience. They've seen it all. The financial advisors have a reputation for professional excellence, and their clients rely on their high level of confidence and integrity. So whether you need guidance on developing a financial plan, creating a customized executive benefit program for your business, or preparing a detailed asset allocation analysis, Bluff City Advisory will provide forward-thinking, cost-effective investment strategies customized to uniquely fit each client. Bluff City values providing quality advice, experience, and access to all their clients, and they invite an open dialogue beyond your annual review. They believe that everyone deserves financial security, and no matter your level of wealth or financial goal, they'll serve as an advocate and guide to grow a portfolio that is fruitful and sustainable for you. And it seems like I missed one up here earlier. Forgive me for a second while I search around. Oh, yeah, deadsoxy.com. We'll be taping a soft verbal maybe today, depending on how angry Zach is at me right now. Don't forget, it's just deadsoxy.com. I'll get you some new ad material. Deadsoxy.com. You want to check out the mesh bag. It's made to go in the wash and in the dryer. It's to keep from losing socks. Also helps keep the integrity of the sock design to last longer. If you spend more than $75 on any order, you'll get one of those bags for free. Deadsoxy.com. Enter promo code RebelGrove at checkout. You'll get 30% off all orders.
So, dead period's not to what, January 16th?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So still got 2 weeks of not much.
Yep. 2 weeks of recruiting
Pretty
being
slow.
sort of underneath the radar a little bit slow. And then, they'll have at least 2 really big visit weekends. They've offered a bunch of 21, 22 guys. And recruiting's going to be, I don't anticipate recruiting really falling off all that much after signing day. The run up for the run up to this coming summer will be fascinating. Spring football will get started sometime, I would guess, early March.
Because the spring game is April 18th, and typically they take spring break off. So
Yeah, they'll take spring break off.
yeah, so you got a gap in the middle. So yeah, sometime around then.
First, second week of March would be my guess.
Over under 25,000 at the spring game.
Over.
30,
Over.
35.
Getting
Getting into that spot now.
Yeah.
Half the stadium will be full, in your opinion.
Yeah, I don't buy the 55 to
No,
60,000.
no,
I don't know that Ole Miss people.
I do think there will be 60,000 in the stadium for SEMO
Yes.
on September the 12th.
Well, yeah.
And I think Ole Miss is going to take half the county to Houston on the 5th.
Yeah, they'll take
20,000 people.
at least.
That game suddenly was like, yes, please, thank you.
Oh,
Everybody,
yeah.
thank you. Because as I wrote yesterday, there was a time since that game was announced that everybody went, oh,
Sure.
nobody's showing up for that bad
Sure,
boy. And
there
now
was-
both teams, a lot of momentum here.
There was a time when if you were the bowl people, the people that run that game, I mean, quite frankly, you would excuse them for making a phone call and going, hey, we got to get out of this.
Well, I mean, it happened with was Atlanta when they're supposed to play Boise or BYU or whomever back
Yeah.
in the day, and they said, hey, let's postpone this thing. It ended up working out for everybody because Ole Miss ended up going up there in 14 and playing Boise, and it was fine in Atlanta.
Tons of people were there.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but now, no. I mean, there's probably more energy around the Ole Miss program than there is the Baylor program.
Well, they're freak out mode right now.
Well, depending on what happens with Rule.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, they're in complete freak
I
out
will
mode.
say this about Rule. I really like the way that he handles pro rumors. Tells his players.
Yeah.
Goes in and says, hey, I heard from this team and this team and this team. Here's the deal. I'm going to answer questions honestly about it.
Held a team meeting just to go over this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they're not operating in the dark. And he told them, he goes, I'd be a fool not to listen to NFL in the same way that you would be a fool not to listen to the NFL. So I'm going to go listen. And we're going to go from there. I like that a lot. I find that to be very refreshing.
Don Larson and David Stern passing away yesterday.
I didn't see that about Don Larson. Is that right? That's a shame.
Don Larson and Stern. Stern was 77. Not sure how old Larson was. I've got it right here. I said I did. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Threw a perfect game in the World Series.
1956.
Unbelievable.
That's correct. Did you see the I think Richard Deitch put it up. Did you see where the New York Daily News the next day, the insert photo was of him in the shower? Something that would never happen today. In 56, the perfect game, New York Daily News, is the main picture of him on the mound or whatever, and the little insert photo is him, water hitting him in the shower. No way that happens in 2019.
Because the photographer wouldn't be allowed in there?
Well, A, and B, it's a weird, I don't really understand the editorial positive of it, if you will.
Was he like so exhausted that he was just standing in the shower? Is that what it was?
He's just standing there, water's dripping down. He's like looking over at the camera.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird.
Really, really strange.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just something that let's see. What is and we'll talk about more NFL tomorrow. What games are Saturday? What games are Sunday for the NFL? I know the Saints are obviously tomorrow at Sunday at 12.
Let's see. I've got this in my trusty little notebook somewhere.
Do you?
Yep. Saturday, it's the afternoon game is Buffalo at Houston. The evening game is Tennessee at New England.
Okay.
And then Sunday, the early game is Minnesota at New Orleans. The late game is Seattle at Philly.
Okay. Talk about my mood on whether I'll watch a game that afternoon or not.
And then Monday, there's the big bowl game in Mobile, Lafayette versus Miami of Ohio. I used to hate the hell out of that.
I do hate that the Saints didn't get the bye strictly for the standpoint of you get a Saints playoff game on Sunday and LSU in the national title game on Monday in the same place. I mean, you better call in some reinforcements on that one.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on.
That beer order that you call in to make, hey, listen, just double it.
Yeah. Whatever it is, let's do two
triple
of those. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
What's your early gut? Who you got? LSU? Clemson?
LSU.
Do you?
They're the best team in the country.
Everybody keeps trying to fight it, and they just keep beating the crap out of everybody.
No, they're the best team in the country. They're getting better on defense as the season's gone on. And offensively, they're a machine. Burrow is
arguably, maybe not even arguably, the best program in the country, Clemson, right now.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. Huge recruiting class.
For sure.
Dabo is getting worse from a PR standpoint as he goes. He's becoming more unlikable as it goes.
Yes.
And had an easy way to just be likable and kind of the hokey dude and whatever. He's kind of lost that a little bit. I mean, media walks in and we're playing respect in the locker room. Come on, guy. Come on. You've won national titles. You're not disrespected, for God's sake. Your conference sucks.
Yeah, no one's disrespected.
Both can be true.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's doing that because he feels like it's what he has to do inside
for his players.
For his players, just to motivate. Maybe they've run out of ways to be motivated. It is hard. I was watching on HBO the Belichick-Saban thing, where Saban, the first time I heard it, I thought kind of arrogant. And I kind of listened to it again. When you climb the mountain, you become the mountain. It's a good point. Because everybody's out to get you. You are the mountain. And maybe that's what's happened with Clemson. So much energy on climbing the mountain, on knocking off Alabama. And now you've done it. And now everybody's trying to knock off you. And that's a completely different mindset. Belichick talked about that with the Patriots. A lot easier to win that first one.
Don Larson, 90 years old, by the way. He was born August 7th, 1929 in Indiana. So 90 for Don Larson.
What I like about LSU's approach is there's absolutely no caution. None. Not in the things they say, not in the things they do, not in the way they play the game. No caution.
No, it's cultivating just supreme confidence.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. And it's genuine. They play with incredible confidence.
We were the best team. We were going to take the field. We were going to win the game.
Yeah. The linebacker Queen, I think Patrick Queen, did the interview about Oklahoma, and he goes, Hurts is really, really good. Their offensive line's average. The running back's kind of average. We're going to dominate them. And they did.
Got done and said that they were the 5th best team they played or whatever it was. That was the quote. Said, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it was their defense was the 5th best. Either way, I don't know what
argue?
it was.
Yeah. They won that game easily.
At one point, Burrow had as many touchdown passes as they had first downs. At one point. It's like 7 at one point.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was 42 to 10 at the half.
Yeah.
It's over. The game was over. I mean, Miles Brennan played a quarter.
Is he the starting quarterback for LSU next year?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if I'm them, I'm in that.
You're hunting the market.
Sure. Why not?
I mean, you're the number 1 destination for somebody with a grad transfer possibility.
The rumor is the kid from Houston, Derek
Oh, really?
King, I think is his name.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's the thing.
That's what people say. I mean, although Brennan's not going to come in and run. Here's their question: can they hold on to Kelly?
Kelly.
Brady. Brady.
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady. Can they hold on to Brady?
Yeah.
That's the big question.
And they are right now. They will for another year.
They're aggressively trying to, as long as they can. I mean, I think they know that
they're talking about it constantly, trying to be like, "Hey, yeah, he's here.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're going to put together a very competitive package for him. It's one of the reasons I'm watching this Frank Wilson thing with some interest. Because I think Ensminger's going to retire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so
opens a spot.
That opens a spot.
Because
yeah.
Brady takes complete control and the keys, and here you go.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's part of the retention package for him.
Yeah.
Is,
Sure show.
It's your deal.
Yeah.
He's awfully good.
Tua coming back last thing Monday?
Sure sounds like it.
That's what it sounds like.
The thing about Tua is what you don't know is what is the hip situation.
Mm-hmm.
And, because if Tua can't come back in time for the combines and stuff, and he's still on crutches, a crutch right now, you're going to fall. Who are you taking today? If you're an NFL team today, the unknown Tua or Justin Herbert?
Oh.
Who are you taking today? The unknown Tua or Jacob Eason? Big body, big arm. Unknown, you don't know.
Eason and Tua. I want nothing to do with Justin Herbert. Nothing.
But you understand the point.
I get it, but I don't want Justin Herbert to be my quarterback, so I'll take whatever my other option is.
So all of a sudden, he's in the middle of the first round.
Yeah.
Well, the difference in money.
But see, you're not giving me an option to just take somebody else and not take a quarterback, too.
Well, if you're a team that needs a quarterback and you're in the first round.
But you can't take the wrong quarterback.
No, but you can't not take a quarterback.
Well,
if you need a quarterback and you're in the upper part of the first round and you don't take a quarterback, that's on you. You've either got to take a quarterback or you've got to trade the hell out of that part of the draft.
Mm-hmm. I'm trading it then. I'm good.
And these days, it's hard to make that trade.
Yeah. But I'm not taking the wrong quarterback.
But if you take Tua and in 2 years he's retired because his hip just didn't heal, well, you effed it up.
Mm-hmm.
You effed it up. And you've got 4 months to think about it. And think about it.
I mean, Herbert was pretty good with his feet yesterday, but just
I'm bigger on Herbert than a lot of people. As evidenced by I was the only one that bet on Oregon on that game. But yeah, I get the reluctance.
Mm-hmm.
The part that I hate with the reluctance is, well, football doesn't mean enough to him.
Oh, well, the heck with
that's
that.
the meathead crap that I can't stand.
We will discuss any news that comes out today, tomorrow. We might take your questions. We'll figure it out. We'll be back tomorrow with another Friday podcast. We're pretty much on schedule the rest of the month now, best I'm aware of. So,
yeah, if you listen to this podcast later in the day, the news will have already come out.
Yeah, so we're being careful on times, but yeah. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Dive in a little further on those things, and we will talk to you again at that point as well. So appreciate it. Good to have you back, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.